Just before we start the podcast, we would like to invite you to get a copy of our new book called Living from Your Art. You can find it on any Amazon platform. You will see it's a very bright colored orange and yellow book cover, and it was made for you artists because you help us live in a better world. We want to help you get more work. So thank you so much, and let's start this podcast.
Yeah! Hey everyone! We are live on social media! Hey! So cool to have you again for another episode of the Puppet Podcast. So hi, I'm Caroline. I'm doing this podcast with a lot of passion towards puppetry because I really enjoy this art form. And I think we need more puppeteer in this world, more puppet show, more objectivity in front of the matter surrounding us. So that's puppetry. A bit of philosophy, a bit of like storytelling. That's all of that. And that's what I enjoy. So yeah, tonight we have the pleasure to have the wonderful Tom Knight. So I will bring him in the screen in a second. But before that, I want to tell you that you can interact with us during this interview because that's the magic of live social media interview. So feel free to comment, to like, to share, to just ask question to my guest tonight. And if you watch it after all, just leave comments. We are in an interactive world, so let's do this. And to give you some data and some news about the podcast, we're doing really great. And I want to invite you on our Patreon. We have a wonderful workshop coming on October 29. It will be in the morning, 10 Eastern time. It's with the wonderful Nina Vogel. She's from Brazil, and we will talk about our own signature. Like, you know, in puppetry or as an artist, our own signature, I like to say it with a bit of French. It's really important. So we will talk about that, and she will give us some tricks and tips about how to be yourself in the art form. So yeah, feel free to join, to see that, to have a look on our Patreon. We have many workshops that we have done on this, and it's free. It's free. It's Patreon support, but it's available. That's what I want to say. Okay, so now let's get ready. We have some comments going on. Yay, Diane is there. And yeah, Tristan, oh my God. Yes, that's good to see that you see the live. And I speak in English, but I know we speak French too. So yeah, now interview time. Please, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll for the wonderful Tom Knight.
Woo!
There's a party in the house.
Woo! I'm trying to match your enthusiasm. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard to match. Yeah, but I can low down a bit. That's fine
No, you should keep it up. I'll try and come up to your level. That's better for me. Yeah.
That's so cool, Tom. Thank you to accept this occasion to talk with me, and let's put some fire towards puppetry.
Yes.
I want you, I always ask the big challenge of introducing yourself to the community. So Tom, please do so. Who are you? What do you do?
Okay, great. Well, my name is Tom Knight. I'm a singer, songwriter, and a puppeteer, and a videographer. And I live in Western Massachusetts. And I've been doing puppetry either by myself or with working with another puppeteer since 1988.
Boom.
So long time. Yeah. And for a while I was doing music for a puppeteer, and then at some point we split up, and I had to figure out how to do a solo show with puppets. And I learned how to make puppets. I bought a sewing machine and learned how to sew, and started making puppets. So I've been doing it ever since.
That's so wonderful. Like you get spell from the puppet. You get like in French we say ensorcelé. Like it's that's really interesting. And we have Viviana who said that Tom, you're awesome, Tom. So
hi, Viviana.
Yeah, you have a fan watching live.
She's a Facebook friend. Yes, we've never met, but But
Yeah.
it's great to see you, Viviana.
Yeah, that's the magic of social media. We met online, and that's
Yes,
that's
yes,
cool. So Tom, let's deep into deep question. But before that, I want to ask you because you have something special coming on.
I do. I do. Yes. Thank you for asking about that. I'm coming out with a brand new album um, called "Look Both Ways." It's going to be officially released on November 18th, 2022, and I've been working on it for over a year, and did some crowdfunding to raise money for it, and it's finally about to be released. The songs are all done, and I'm just kind of waiting for CDs and waiting for them to be put up on Spotify and everything. But it's so exciting to the last album I did was 19 years ago, so it's it's very exciting to come out with some new music for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, and that's awesome because I have to tell you, people, community who are watching right now, Tom have a lot of talent, and I use his lullaby with my daughter a lot, and it's really therapeutic for her. Like when the Sandman was starting, she was falling asleep, and that's really a lot of talent. So if you have the chance to just listen a bit on Spotify or encourage him on his platform, that's really cool. But I know we have people fan of your puppet. We have Diane here who want to see puppet, but Diane stayed there at the end of the interview. We always have some puppets
I
coming,
have
but
some puppets are waiting. They're anxiously waiting to come on the show. Yes.
yeah, but let's keep the trigger towards the end. And yeah, Tom, I want to hear of you on our deep puppet podcast questions.
Yeah, yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready, I think.
Yeah, I want to hear you on your crush moment. It's often because you talk a little bit about you were doing music for a puppeteer.
Yeah.
Do you have an anecdote of this like crush spell that you get from puppetry?
Yes. Well, I guess I mean for my first introduction was really when I was a kid, and the Muppet Show and Jim Henson and Kermit. I think maybe I didn't really realize they were puppets. They just seemed like, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
They seemed so alive. But as an adult, when I was doing music for the Puppet Show, so I did some music for kids with just my guitar by myself, and then I also worked with the puppeteers actually, and it was just when I was working with the puppets, it was just a whole nother world because, there's the visual aspect of just, colors
Uh-huh.
and things moving around besides just me standing there with a guitar. So there's just the colors. That's one thing by itself, but there's also and stories,
Uh-huh.
but then there's also characters.
Yeah.
So that I could interact with these characters, and it's just a whole nother dimension that really can give all ages a way. It's an entertainment that really works for all ages. So music is kind of my first love, but if I can make the music come alive and be kind of in a physical three-dimensional space, that just takes it to a whole nother level. So that's really what I love about working with puppets is the character, the color, the stories that just come alive. The other thing I love about puppets is that um, I work by myself, and I can create, all the stories and the backgrounds and the characters and do the voices. I get to do it all. I can do it all by myself. I don't have to work with a whole crew. I mean, it would be nice to have a crew. I'd love to have a crew, but I don't have to.
Uh-huh.
So that's the other beautiful thing about doing puppets.
It's a crew in itself,
Yes.
puppetry.
Yes.
You create your own crew
It's
with your sewing machine.
That's right. That's right. And they don't mind sleeping in a box.
Yeah, no complaint.
They don't complain. They don't eat much. They don't ask to be paid.
And we have Ari who say right here that she
Ah,
saw you performing in with your alligator, and that was fabulous. And yeah,
ah.
she had the video of that song bilingual is super fun.
Oh, thank you, Ari. That's my first. I think it's Ari. Um, that
Yeah.
Yes, that's the first song from the first single from my album and the first video that I made for my new album. So that's so nice that you brought that up. And I used puppets in the video, which you can see on my website. If I can promote my website, tomknight.com, you can see the alligator jump Salta Caiman video on my website and see how the puppets. So yeah, see how I use the puppets.
Yeah, and you have like congrats
Ah,
wish right here. And
thank you.
yes, Ari said that. I pronounce it in the French way, Ari. Ari. Sorry. Yeah, but that's amazing to see that you have a community who follow you and see what you do. But I want to hear you also on the field of study, like to become a puppeteer. It's
Yeah.
always a question that we ask in the show, like what it's needed and wanted for from the audience and from the field of puppetry to become a real pro in that field.
That's a good question. I I think one thing that really helped me was I studied acting, um,
Mm.
and I think acting, using your body basically and your voice is actually harder than using puppets, because when I'm using a puppet, I can hide behind the puppet, um, so that actually is easier. But the things I learned acting were really helpful,
Uh-huh.
um, and I think also I also I've taken like swing dancing classes, so I think that helps too. Just being in your body and being able to. Well, I do a lot of stuff with music, so being able to kind of move with the music, I think is valuable. And I've also gone to some puppetry festivals and taken some kind of basic puppet workshops and things like that, basic puppet manipulation workshops. But um, the thing that's sort of the other thing that's really come in handy is just being in front of audiences and trying things. It's like just seeing what audiences respond to, and and kind of taking that information and kind of working that into your future creations. It's like, oh well, the audiences like it when I do this, so I'm going to keep doing more of that. um, so yeah, I think that,
Yeah,
well, I hope that answered your question.
yeah, you learn on the way while doing the thing, and this is something valuable. And we have to set it that a lot of stuff get in the learning curve when you have the public in front of you, and I really agree on that.
I mean, it's great to practice in your studio or in your room and work it
Yeah.
out, but um, you really need to just be in front of an audience and see, because especially with young kids, you have to move pretty slowly. You have to make sure that they're following what you're doing, um, and that you don't really know until you see how people are reacting.
Yeah,
Um,
what is the real rhythm for a puppet show? Because I know kids are used to TV stuff and it's really fast, but
right.
often when you do storytelling, you have to slow a little to make sure they understand the words and where you are going and to put some rhythm. And
Yeah, yeah, and it's also, there. I work a lot with pretty young children, so 2 to 6 or whatever.
uh-huh.
So there's a big difference between a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old in terms of what they can follow, and you kind of try to find, and every audience is a little different in terms of who's there, so you kind of find the rhythm. The other thing is like, I can be working on something in my studio, and I think something is going to be funny, and I try it, and it's like nothing. I had nothing, and then something I didn't think is funny that gets a big laugh. It's like, oh, that's the funny. So that's the other part, is like you need an audience sometimes to figure out what's funny, and sometimes they're accidents. Something happens by accident, and you realize, oh, that's the funny part. I'm going to do that again.
Uh-huh, totally. And I want to hear you also on your goal, because
Hmm.
to be a singer, to have puppetry, you must have like something in your heart that you said, like, I want to accomplish this. I want to go in that, and that's my objective as a goal as an artist. Do you have some like something like that?
Yeah. Well, it's good. That's a good question. I think my goals kind of change over time a little bit, but the first thought I have in terms of what my goal is to delight audiences.
Uh-huh.
And that's very, I feel like that's something that I can offer, and it's something that also just makes me feel really good. Um, but but in terms of kind of like career goals, I guess I want to reach bigger audiences.
Uh-huh.
And right in the last most of my career, I've been mostly a regional performer, just kind of like performing in my area. But I'm trying to kind of expand my area, use the internet partly, but also just physically go to new places so that more people can, so I can delight more people,
Yeah.
basically. And it's like it's interesting. You mentioned earlier, you said that the Athena likes the song "The Sandman," and
Yeah.
which is so nice to hear. But what's interesting to me is that that song was recorded in 1992. You know, but for you, it's a new song. So
Yeah.
there's so many songs that I've recorded over my career that people aren't going to know. So that I'd like to kind of meet new audiences and share some of my old material, but also some of my new material.
That's really an amazing goal, and I wish you could travel. Are you like expecting in the future some tour or touring
Well,
live?
I'm doing little tours like around upstate New York, where I used to live in Ithaca. So I do some touring there, and I've been starting to go into Connecticut and Boston. So short little tours, like 2 or 3 or days, or sometimes a week. Um, but yeah, I'd like to continue to do bigger tours. I have done tours of Las Vegas, and I did a California tour, the Central Coast of California tour, and I've been to Virginia libraries, and so I have done some touring, but I'd like to do more.
Yes, totally. I totally agree. I think people need some puppeteers and musicians like you. And I have to say to the crowd that you have some like experience on viral song also, because I know you and I know your what you are doing on your promotion. So you were in the field of Bleepy, and you get connected virally
I
with
did. There was something that happened. Blippy. I didn't know who Blippy was, but now I do. He's a YouTube personality, has a show, and I guess a lot of 2-year-olds really know and love Blippy. But on YouTube, somehow the algorithm picked one of my videos to be a suggested video, and I went from like oh, I don't know, 10,000 to like 40,000 views or something on a video in like a week or something. So that was fun. And then I think it stopped being suggested, and then it stopped. But but it was just a lucky the algorithm somehow picked me. So I was very successful there for a little while.
but that
And my YouTube subscribers went from like 200 to 450, also very
in a
fast.
week. This,
Yes,
this
yeah.
is this is fun. This is kind of a little anecdote about online stuff that could happen, and I think it's fun to say that this is a possibility how we can be picked or how to do that. But it's kind of at this point a bit of luck, you will say.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's luck, but it's also just, persistence. It's
Mm.
like I released a whole bunch of things, especially during the pandemic, or during, when things were shut down. I did a lot of videos kind of all at once. So I think that helps. Um, if you just do one thing and kind of sit around and wait, probably nothing will happen. I think you have to keep on releasing things and keep on um, trying to engage with new audiences. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, Eli has been super helpful. I should give a little shout out to Eli. That he's my coach, actually, and he's has a lot to do with my current success, actually. So, and I have been reading the book. I just started reading the book. How to Make a Living from Your Art, and it's actually really good. I thought I would already know everything because I've been working with Eli as a coach, but I actually learned some new things. So I really recommend Eli and the book, How to Make a Living from Your Art. It's helped me immensely.
Yes, this is great because that's what we do in the podcast. We want to help artists, but that's good that you add some result, and that's the main thing. And but you add on the persistence, and I feel puppeteers are really persistent artists because
Yeah.
to conquer more field and to get the puppetry going around, it's really a persistence point.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make a career and build your business, yeah, I think you have to just keep on going, keep on engaging and
Yeah.
making calls and so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
creating. I mean, that's the other thing is we have to keep on creating new things.
totally,
Yeah.
totally. And I want to hear you because you said that you have done some acting stuff, acting
Yeah.
classes. But I often say when I explain what is puppetry to children, I often talk about the fact that you can be a shy person and be a really good puppeteer. But do you define yourself as some as someone shy that can go out of the box when you have puppet in front?
Yeah, I would say I'm an introvert mostly, which is surprising because when I'm, talking to you, I think I might sound like an extrovert, but um, yeah, I am more of a shy person. But yeah, that is part of the fun of having a puppet is that I can kind of be more in the background and let the puppet be the star, and it's having that. It's just kind of one step removed to make it easier to be more outgoing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's therapeutic to have like this is the main focus, and I control everything.
Yes.
And do you have some advice because you talk about business and
Mm.
it's pretty it's not rare, but I feel often we are not quite of comfortable to talk in
Yeah.
terms of art business. But
Yes.
what are your advice on that aspect?
Well, that's a really good question. I think the thing that's well, I mean,
Yeah,
one thing
it's
that's been super helpful is actually hiring Eli. So I'm going to say that. But
this is sad.
one of the things that he's helped me with is just um, making calls, making emails.
Mm,
And also this idea of like if one strategy doesn't work, try another strategy and just kind of making it part of my regular routine basically to to reach out to people that could hire me. And
uh-huh.
again, one of the things that I just read in Eli's book is this idea that what we're doing is actually helping people.
Mm,
If because there are people, somebody just emailed me today. It's like, "Oh, I have some money that I have to spend. Are you available?" And it's like she actually had a need to spend some money on a program, and I'm actually helping her with this need she has. And it's a little bit different way of thinking about it. Like if I'm calling up somebody and saying, "Hey, I have this show," it's like perhaps I'm actually helping them with something that librarians have to schedule programming, and schools need to schedule programming, and all the places
yeah,
I play, they actually have money. They have a need for quality things, and so I'm actually just saying, here I am. If this is something you need, um, and I guess it's just a little bit different way of thinking than it's like, oh, I'm going to bother somebody and
yeah,
try and sell them a window cleaning or something because that's that because I don't like getting those phone calls about things that I don't want, um,
yeah,
but yeah, it's so the trick for me has just been getting more used to the idea of calling and saying hi and this is what I offer, and not being discouraged if somebody doesn't call me back. And the other thing that's been helpful is just like when I contact people, I don't necessarily try to sell them. I'm more just like, what do you need, and how is it going with you, and really, not just as a selling technique, but as a being actually really being interested. It's like, well, what is happening in libraries right now, and what are you scheduling, and how's
mm,
it going with COVID, and so on. It's like I'd actually like to know because I can use that information to talk to other librarians for one thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you mentioned the help, like the fact that you help and you help the crowd, you help to delight the audience, and you
Yeah.
help everyone in this
Yeah,
field.
and as artists, we're unique, you know, and we actually provide a valuable service. Um, yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I was like, I'm delighting people. I'm creating community when
Yeah,
people sing together and move and dance together. They're really connecting to the whole community and connecting to music and art and
yeah,
laughter. So it's a really positive thing that I offer, and I'm sure many of the other puppeteers you work with. So that's we're a force for good in the world, and
yeah.
we deserve to be seen and
Yes.
and deserve to make a good living, I'd say. Um,
Yes,
yeah.
and I love that you mentioned unique because you are unique and you have unique character around you. So Tom, that would be the time to bring maybe some puppet towards the screen.
Well, let me. I have one puppet that I was going to bring, but I'll just I'll grab another one here.
Yeah,
Um,
and you can grab the guitar also because it's not a puppet, but it's a tool of connection.
well, my guitar might not be quite ready, but I
Okay.
wanted to bring this. I wanted to bring this fellow here.
Oh yeah,
Um,
let's go large so you can. Yeah.
Hi,
Oh,
Caroline.
hello.
I'm
You
still learning
build
how to
it,
talk.
right?
um, do you know what I am?
uh, a porcupine.
Yes, that's right. I'm a porcupine.
That's the same word in French and in English. I was like trigger. Oh, is it
Oh, good. Well,
porc-épic? A porc-épic in
Porky
French.
Pig. You sounded like Porky Pig.
Porc-épic.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for letting me on the show.
Yeah. And you do you sing little porc-épic?
um, no, I don't sing. I mainly dance. I'm mainly a
Oh,
dancer.
oh,
I
that's good.
jump, I wiggle, I turn around, things like that. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. And you are with Tom in the tour, in the future tour. You will
Oh
be
yeah, I
there.
go on tour and I do the Celtic I'm on dance. Yeah. Yeah.
Great. This is
I'm
amazing.
there's all lots of alligators in that song, but I'm the only porcupine. Yeah.
Yeah, you are
I'm special that
unique.
way.
We
Yeah.
were talking about unicity, so
Also, I
you
play
are.
the trumpet in the video too. You should see
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we must put the link below our interview of you because you are a rock star.
Yeah, that's right.
So cool. And Tom built you, right?
What? What are you talking
Uh,
about?
he creates you.
I don't know what you're talking about there. I
Okay.
was born. I was born in a swamp.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. Sure. Sorry, I'm going into too much philosophy here.
Yeah.
So
No.
cool.
Oh, wait. I think somebody else is coming. Hey, hang
Okay, okay, we are ready. Oh,
All right.
hi. Hello.
Hi, Caroline.
Hi, this is the famous alligator that we were talking before.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad to be on your show.
Yeah, I love your mouth. I really like the fact that it's simple. Simple is best.
Yeah. Well, it works.
Yeah, that's the point. And you are a superstar also, right?
Oh yeah. I have my own show. I have my own show. Yeah. Well, it's called the Tom Knight Show, but it should be called the Alley the Alligator Show, because I'm
Yeah,
in every single episode, and I think I'm the real star. Yeah.
yeah. And are you part of the new album?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm on the Alligator Jump song.
oh yeah, yeah. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah. I get to shake my tail. I
And
like
you
that.
jump, right?
Oh yeah, I
You
jump a lot. Yeah. Whee!
so
Whee!
cool. So cool.
Whee!
Ali, you are an amazing puppet. I really enjoy. So let's give some hand to your puppeteer because he is a brilliant artist.
You mean my assistant?
Yeah, your assistant. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
helps out a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's a genius. So I want to let
Ah,
him introduce all and plug all his social media so people could reach and see more about what he do. You allow him to do that,
all right.
Harley?
Yeah, I'll let Tom talk. All right. Okay. All right. All
I like it because it's so like you can be wild and open and extrovert as you said with the puppet, and that's perfect.
Yeah, I can just be silly and say stuff that maybe I couldn't say that as myself. I don't know. Yeah.
That's good. So,
Yeah.
Tom, if people want to reach you, see more of what we do, what you do, what you create, where they should look.
Yes. Well, I'm on Facebook. Tom Knight Puppet. What is it on Facebook? Tom Knight. Um, and I think it's Tom Knight Puppet Shows. I should look it up.
But we can
Um,
put it
but it's
below.
yes. But it's also but on my website tomknight.com. You can see there's a connection to Facebook there. And also you can pre buy my new album on my website now. Um, I'm doing pre-sales of downloads and pre-sale of the CD, which is going to be available on November 18th. So just tomknight.com.
Yes, this is a wonderful artist name. I love it. Tom Knight, a warrior of puppetry and art.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm
So
lucky. I'm lucky I have an easy name to remember. Yeah.
yeah, that's well said. And Tom, thank you so much for all you do, and congrats on your new album and your tour. And I know you will succeed in that. That's
Well,
perfect.
thank you, Caroline. It's so great to speak with you and just be here. And I love your enthusiasm and all the support that you give to puppeteers around the world. It's a wonderful thing that you're doing. So
Thank
thank you for
you.
that.
Thank you so much. That's a mutual agreement and love and passion. That's so great. So, Tom, it's time to remove you from the screen. So,
Oh
let's
no.
everyone say bye to Tom, and I will just do the conclusion. But stay in the virtual studio. We can chat a little after.
Okay.
Okay, bye bye, Tom.
Bye, everybody.
Woohoo, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this other episode of the Puppet Podcast. We are we are rolling. We want to do again other interview. So if you know puppeteer that we must interview, feel free to write to us and feel free to watch our Patreon. We have this workshop coming next Saturday, the 29 in the morning. It's a Saturday, not this one, but the other one. And yeah, we will talk about creation, your own signature with Lina Vogel. So have a look on that. It will be amazing. So yeah, stay tuned. We have plenty of stuff coming, and yes, we want to help. So if you need a hand, or some connection, feel free to reach to us. So have a wonderful evening, and we stay in touch for another episode of the Puppet Podcast. Bye bye.